What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the FPL video. My name is Mo, and today I'll be going through my Game Week 11 team selection, which is only a couple of days away. In this video, we'll also discuss how Game Week 10 went for me, what my score was, what went well, what didn't go so well, what areas I'm looking to address, am I looking to make any transfers, bring players in, take some players out, which players will I be targeting over the next couple of weeks. So we'll discuss all that, but before we get into this video today, if you guys haven't given this a like, please give us a like, and if you haven't subscribed to FPL INKLING, please hit that subscribe button and join the FPL INKLING family. Now let's crack on and let's see how Game Week 10 went for me. So it started off not so well on Saturday afternoon, so I was kind of banking on a Man City clean sheet versus Crystal Palace at home. The game started well, but there was one moment of weakness, madness from the defence. It was real complacency. Lost the ball at the back. Zaha capitalised. He was on my bench. Would he have made a difference generally to my overall score? Probably not, because if I was looking to bring him in, it was probably going to be for Livramento. And he was going to be on the four midfielders. So it would only have been 2 points. So it's not really much of a gain or a loss, because I still would have played all the rest of my team regardless. So how did that come across? How did that shape up my team score for the week? So I could have got potentially 18 points for 3 players getting a clean sheet. However, they conceded. Edison decided to get into a verbal match with Zaha, trying to get him sent off at half-time, got a yellow card. And also, you know, he didn't have a great game, so he's got me 0 points there again. So I've had him for 2 weeks where I expected 2 clean sheets, and all he's done is got a penalty conceded by himself against Brighton last week, and conceded a goal and got a yellow card here against Crystal Palace. But they won 2-0. Outside for them, he lost a point for conceding 2 goals as well. But am I expecting better from Edison going forward in terms of the Man City defence? Of course I am. Look, it's a little minor blip. It's not great. It's very painful when you do see it and 3 of your players lose their clean sheet bonuses. But this is Man City at the end of the day. They've got some really good fixtures coming up. Am I going to back them? Of course I am. Moving forward, and I guess they will get me the returns in the near future. The same goes for Diaz. Got me a point. Got a yellow card as well. Then you got Cancelo, who got 2 points as well. Could have scored, had a good chance during the game. Unfortunately, didn't capitalise. But I do believe that, you know, with the 3 in City defence for me moving forward, I will back them, and eventually they will pay me the rewards. Trent, Alexandra, Arnold got 1 point over the weekend. They conceded Liverpool, but, you know, didn't have a great game, to be brutally honest. No clear-cut chances. Am I expecting better from him in the coming weeks? Of course I am, because of Trent, you know, when he does go big, he's quite aggressive in terms of the attacking play, set pieces, and he always likes to swing a cross in to the box as well. But again, they were tested. It was a difficult game. He got 1 point. Hopefully we should get some clean sheets and some aggressive returns as well in terms of goals or assists. So in terms of the 4 core players that I had in my team, which was my defensive line, I technically only picked up, you know, 4 points out of 4 players, which again doesn't shape up the week well. If we kind of reverse that and they all got clean sheet points, that could have been at least 20 to 24 points we're looking at. But again, I'm not going to be too disheartened by it. It's one of the bad weeks, but I need to look forward, and we need to be, you know, patient to make sure that we get the returns that we need. Livramento, however, was the last player I thought that would get me a clean sheet this game week. But he did. He got me 6 points. Again, he's doing really well. An absolute bargain for when I brought him for 4.1 mil. He is there to stay, and he's a great player to have on the bench if one of my players, for some reason, is benched, dropped, or is injured. So that's a really good assurance for me to have, and I'm looking to build my bench as the game weeks progress, as you'll see later in this video. My captain, Mo Salah, once again didn't disappoint. 5 points to return. Got me 10 points overall, so pretty much 1/3 of my team score this week. Am I going to captain him again? Pretty most likely I will do. But for me, it's not a set Salah as captain for the rest of the season policy. Obviously, there'll be games where other players will come into it, and as a manager, I'll be thinking, you know what, maybe I could take advantage here. And that, for example, could be later on in the season or in a couple of weeks where Liverpool have a more challenging fixture. But I believe that I have a player in my squad that can do better in that specific game and get me a better return. But for now, Salah was captain this game week, and he did me, you know, justice in terms of getting me a 10 points return. Now, Rafinha played on Sunday against Norwich. Massive question marks over him playing or not playing. I think Rafinha has been yellow flagged for at least the last 4 game weeks, as far as I know, and he did kind of hobble off at the end of the game. He did play the whole game, but kind of hobbled off a bit. I will not be surprised to put another yellow flag on him, because I think FPL just love putting him under the yellow flag, being available due to a knock, 75%. But he got me 9 points, got me the goal, man of the match, 9 points. And he actually boosted my score from the 20s to the 30s. So Rafinha had a good game. Gonna stick with him for now. Again, in a couple of game weeks' time, when the fixtures do swing, I may look alternatively. But for now, I am going to keep Rafinha and just kind of hope for the best that, you know, they can take advantage of some kind of form that he's hit now and allow Leeds to come out of that kind of danger relegation zone and, you know, be in the mid-top half of the table where, you know, I think, you know, 10 to 20, you know, around 10 to 14, they do believe they should be. So Rafinha, again, good game for him. Good return for all the managers that kept him. There have been some knee-jerks of people taking him out, and I assure you, the managers who did take him out, and when he scored, they must have thought, oh no, what have I done? But I'm going to stick with him for a little more while, and then if the fixtures swing and he, you know, I feel there's a better player available for me to bring in, he will be brought in. But for the next couple of weeks, Rafinha will be staying. Townsend continues his dry run. I think ever since I brought him in, he hasn't really brought anything to my game, or my team, I should say, since the Manchester United game. So since then, he's brought 6 points in the last 3 games. So again, I think, you know, it's a bit of a dry patch, but I think the Everton fixtures should get a lot better. Didn't really have any clear-cut chances. They were disappointing against Wolves, and they have been quite disappointed since the Manchester United win. Watford 5-0. 2-1 against Wolves. It's not looking great, to be fair, for Townsend and Everton. And then let's go to the forward line. So Newcastle versus Chelsea. Wilson, I wasn't really expecting much from him this game week because I had kind of brought him in for the game weeks after this. But again, not much of a surprise. 2 points. I wish he kind of got a goal or a return. It would have helped me a bit massively in my team. But 2 points again. And that literally kind of summed up their afternoon against Newcastle. Chelsea were far too strong. And they kind of put them to the sword. I thought generally Newcastle played well to start the game. But I think in the coming weeks, Wilson will be a good choice to have. And they've got Jamie Vardy, got me 1 point. Again, disappointing. I had high hopes. There was an injury doubt for him as well against Arsenal. Arsenal played absolutely amazing against Leicester. So he wasn't able to keep up his great run against Leicester that he usually does. So he only got a point for me, got a yellow card as well. Not a great game week in terms of my strike force. And Antonio blanked as well. Again, are there thoughts going through me in terms of getting rid of him? For now, no. He still is owned by around 48% of managers, which is quite a high ownership for a player. And the day he does go well, it is going to help those managers. But I think there's players who are now going to move away from him, for example, are going to feel the effect. But the thing is with me, like Antonio-wise, I think I'll keep him despite having those difficult fixtures for West Ham. And who I'm looking at potentially is Calvert-Lewin when he does return. I mean, he was on Sky on Monday Night Football for the Everton game, and I think, you know, he's not too far away from a return. Yeah, so I think Antonio for now will stay put. I don't see any other strikers, which is absolutely, like, you know, catching my eye. Hwang, yes, he's having good games here and there. He's done well for his price, but for me, I'm sticking to this template. Not a 4-3-3, but I want to still play 3-4-3. And I think Wilson, Vardy, Antonio for now is good. And I think when Calvert-Lewin comes back, I will look to get him in. But again, it depends on the fixtures for Antonio, because I know they do take a swing from game week 18. But we'll think about that later. But for now, I think I'm going to back him. And if he does come good, then good news for me. So that was the overall score for me, was 36. My front line and my defence absolutely let me down. I only had, let's say, 1, 2, 3 players that brought me return, and that includes a clean sheet from Livermento. So not a great week for me personally, but look, it's a learning curve. I think, you know, there's a lot for us to digest. It wasn't an overall great week. I was massively below the average, so it went really... I'd say in the wrong direction for me. But look, I've gone from ranking of 2.7 to 2.9 mil. That's disappointing. I've lost 200,000 in rank, which is not ideal. But again, hey, it's only game week 10. There's still 28 game weeks to go. And there are some points there to be won. And I think I've got a solid team. I think I'm pretty content. And let me show you what my team looks like for game week 11. Here we are. So there has been one change, which we'll discuss. But let's go through the back line. So I might raise a few eyebrows here. People looking at me going, why am I playing 3 defenders at the back for Man City again? The way I see it, guys, okay, is I need to go big or bust. That's my opinion, right? I want to go for risk versus reward. How comfortable am I with, you know, I'm a Manchester United fan, for example. Do I believe Manchester United at home have been as clinical as they've been away? No. Now, let me take you back. People will look at me and go, Ronaldo scored midweek, X, Y, Z, there's goals come in and X, Y, Z, Man United will score. Anyone can score in any game, guys. Look, there are plenty of managers out there that are going to put 2 City defenders, or Edison and Diaz, or Diaz and Cancelo, or Stones or Laporte. There'll be 2, at least from Man City. So why not 3? If you're hoping for a clean sheet with 2, then why not 3? I'm just going to go all out there. I have the option of Foster on the bench for Arsenal. I've got Livramento, and I've got Ben White to bring in. But personally, I don't think Manchester United at home have been as clinical. Let me take your mind back a couple of weeks. Against Liverpool, 5-0 at home. 5-0, that's all I need to say. Not great. For me, against Man City, will they raise their game? I personally hope they do. And if they score, win-win situation for me because I want Manchester United to win the game. And if they don't score, of course I'm going to be disappointed. But then I can at least look at my fantasy team and say, hey, I got 18 points from 3 players. Right? But that's the way I'm playing it at the moment. I put all my eggs in one basket. I went bust last week. I can go bust again this week. But do you know what? Let's play it. Let's have a go. I want to do something different. And I want to try this. Again, it can pay off and it can't. For me, either way, it's a win-win situation. United at home have been disappointed. Champions League, League Cup, League, generally, they've been absolutely disappointing. And teams have scored past them. And, even Villa came and kept a clean sheet. No disrespect to Aston Villa whatsoever, but they came to Old Trafford and kept a clean sheet. And we did not look like scoring at all. Newcastle, with Ronaldo's first game where we won 4-1, they were 1-0 up. They came back 1-1. But even then, Ronaldo scored those goals. But before that, when it was 1-1, they didn't look that attackingly potent to just think, oh my God, here we go, United are going to score 3 or 4. That was just basically Newcastle losing, the plot in terms of their defensive line. But for me, I'm going to go 3 in defence at the back. And, if it does pay off and I get a clean sheet, happy days for me. And I think Pep will make sure he gives the defenders a good talking to make sure that does take place. But again, I'm going for those 3 at the back. Edison, Diaz and Cancelo. Cancelo also had 2 assists this week in the Champions League as well, and he's done well in the Premier League as well. So there's no way, I don't think I can play this game without having them 2 in, despite having 2 defenders on the bench that are playing Aston Villa and Watford. There's no clean sheets guaranteed, but hey, let's take a risk, right? If I'm going to have Edison in goal, then why not? I'm going to go for the other 2 defenders in there as well. Yes, people say spread your risk, but again, I want to take a risk massively because I'm in a position now where I think I can take risks because I'm so far off where I wanted to be. There's no harm in taking this risk, right? That's why I've taken those 3 as defenders. And West Ham are playing Liverpool, so Trent will be in defence for me as well. So that's my back line for you. And I think, West Ham's a tough game at the London Stadium, but I still believe, Liverpool are far too strong for them on a daily opposition. So I think basically Liverpool should be firm favourites to win that game, even playing so well midweek against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. So that's my backline: Edison, Diaz, Alexandra, Arnold and Cancelo. Moving now to the midfield, Captain Salah will remain against West Ham. It's been a tough choice. I was thinking of Vardy as well, potentially being captain, but I think, with the form that Salah's in, I think for me at the moment to go away from him will, be a risk too much for me. So I think I need to play safe in terms of my captaincy for now. So Salah against West Ham, I think should be a good return for him there. Moving on now to Rafinha. So Rafinha against Leicester. They're at Ellen Road. Rafinha scored in the last game, looked really sharp, and I think he looked interested in making a point, making his team understand the situation of making sure they play well, raise themselves to the expectations of their fans, because they were around the relegation mark, 18-19, but they got that crucial win against Norwich. Now, what they need to do is basically replicate that against Leicester, which I believe Rafinha is kind of like the main source, along with Rodrigo, without Bamford at the moment, and they've got Harrison and Daniel James as well. But Rafinha, set-piece specialist, I'm still confident that he can get me a good return. Then I've got Townsend. He's been disappointed. 3 blanks in a row against Tottenham at home. Tottenham getting Conte. How would they react? They've had a bad run since the Manchester United victory at Old Trafford. They've lost 5-0 to Watford, 2-1 to Wolves. And the fans are getting a bit impatient with Benitez now. But I think, there will be a reaction, and Townsend should be a part of it. Losing Decore wasn't easy either, so Damari Gray, Richarlison, and Townsend have a lot of responsibility to make sure that they can bring back Everton itself. So I'm pretty confident of keeping him in there, and let's see if he performs or not. And then Zaha playing Wolves at home. Again, he scored against Man City, so a bit of form coming in. I'm pretty hopeful he can get a few returns. He's the main source of goals and pretty much likely to take a penalty as well if given. So that's why I'm pretty confident with my midfield. I think if they can put it together and get me a few returns, I should have a good game week. Now we've got Callum Wilson up front against Brighton. Brighton have been absolutely amazing this game. I should say for the games this game season, or this season overall for fantasy football and the Premier League itself. But Wilson, I think it's about time that he can go on a good run. There are some really good fixtures coming up for Newcastle. This is the reason why I did bring him in last game week. So against Brighton, he's on set pieces. I'm hopeful he can get me a good return. He's on low ownership, which is really key for me. So if I can get a good return from him, that'll be a massive boost to my ranking. So as you guys can see, only 1.7% of managers own him. And if I showed you his next couple of fixtures, Brighton, Brentford, Arsenal, Norwich, Burnley. So there's some really good fixtures for me to target. Fingers crossed he remains fit, because one of his main concerns is his injury. So let's see how he performs. Potentially a new manager coming in as well to Newcastle. Emery's ruled himself out, but Eddie Howe is being talked about at the moment. So let's see what reaction Wilson can give to the new manager. And then we've got obviously Jamie Vardy against Leeds. What can I say? He's been absolutely amazing this season so far, along with Salah and Antonio, probably the three highest point scorers. Leeds away, he had a blank game week last week, can be back now. And I think, with the Leeds defence, there's definitely some returns for him to look forward to. And then I've got Antonio up front against Liverpool. He's blanked a few weeks in a row now. But it's Liverpool. I'm still going to play him. I think, there's always a goal within Antonio. And if I'm going to have him in my squad, there's no way I'm going to put him on the bench, regardless of which opposition he's playing at that moment in time. So this is what my team looks like, guys, for game week 11. Yes, I'm going to raise a lot of eyebrows. Yes, a lot of people are going to say 3 defenders against Manchester United. But that's just the way I'm seeing it, guys. It's the way I'm thinking. It's the way I think, I can make basically, if I do get the reward for those defenders and goalkeeper getting a clean sheet, if I'm going to do it with 2, why not do it with 3? That's the mindset that I'm going through, is if I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket. In my bench itself, I've got Foster, Livramento, who's playing Aston Villa, and then you've got Ben White, who's playing Watford. So I've taken out Hoover from Wolves, and I've replaced him with Ben White. Now, the next transfer that I do have for next game week, I'm potentially going to look to get rid of Billy Gilmore and bring in like a midfielder around the 4.5, 4.6 million marks. So someone like a Brownhill, Basuma, Douglas Luiz. So I'm looking around that at the moment. And then I believe I have 15 strong players that, despite any injuries or any kind of people being dropped to the bench or any COVID-related isolation issues, I should have enough players to bench out or field out 11 players even from the bench itself. So that's what the team looks like, guys. That's my game week 11 squad. Let me know what your thoughts are. Join the FPO INKLING League. The league code is on your screen just below my camera. And in addition, if you haven't liked the video so far, give us a like. And if you haven't subscribed to FPO INKLING, let's hit that subscribe button and be part of the FPO INKLING family. I'll be back with some more content. We'll do a live Q&A as well later, and be part of that to please see how it goes. Till then, I want you guys to take care, be positive, and back your gut instinct. Have a good week.